What would you do with 24 hours at a dream golf course? And what would that golf course look like? Pristine fairways? World-class practice facilities? Level tee boxes perhaps? How about greens that roll so true that it's impossible to blame them for your missed putts? But this isn't a dream. It's the reality at Predator Ridge, located just outside of Vernon in British Columbia, Canada. I'll be using everything they have on offer to get my game dialed in preparation for a round on one of the resort's 2 tracks, the Predator course. Awarded a 4.5 Golf Digest rating and voted as a top 10 public course in Canada, the Par 71 course seems as though it should only exist in a video game. I'm on a trip filming some of the best courses in BC, so please subscribe to the channel to get notified of when I put out my next video, if you enjoyed this one. Recently, I've been playing a lot of tight tree-line courses, so the wide open fairways of the Predator course was something I was really looking forward to. The goal for the day was to shoot my handicap, and in order to do that, I need to work on some specific areas of my game. After a quick spending spree at the pro shop, I made my way down to the expansive practice area to start grinding.
Oh my god.
I couldn't have got to the short game area any faster. Here you can hit any distance from within 120 yards and from a variety of lies. The fairway surface is in impeccable condition and the green is clearly well taken care of. As I get stronger with my golf swing, I've noticed I need to stay on top of my wedge distances more frequently than I thought. For me, it's more of a feel for what I think a half or 3/4 swing is, rather than what it should be technically. I also try to have a soft and firm swing speed paired with these feels, and in practice, I feel confident from most yardages between 50 and 120. But out on the course, that's easier said than done. But if I got to use a facility like this regularly, I'd improve a lot. Most driving ranges will have a ton of blind spots where balls land, and it can be tricky to figure out your distances effectively. But here, the whole range slopes up towards the back, so visually it's ideal. There are a bunch of different flags to aim at, and really it's the sheer openness that really suited my eye. I didn't feel crowded like you can do at some places, and the mats were in pristine condition. Same goes for the balls. I think I probably hit about 200 balls by the end of the session, which likely explains some things that happened during the round, but I just couldn't help myself. It might sound like I'm gushing out with all these compliments, but many golfers will appreciate that when a range is like this, it's just the best. I don't think I've ever been on such a large putting green, you know. Coming here with a real problem of getting nowhere near on those 30-foot long putts, I spent time working on my distance control. I did notice that this green ran a bit slower compared to the course, but it still rolled really nicely. And with it being so large, there was none of that social awkwardness of getting in the way of another golfer. I also recently discovered that a face balance putter like the one I'm using here isn't something that's going to help me on these longer putts. But that's a story for another video because it's time to get to the first tee. My confidence was off the charts. I was puring it on the range with my driver and I felt comfortable with my wedges.
You 1250?
You betcha.
Boys, let's play some golf, hey?
As I'm not the best ball striker in the world, I heavily depend on these two aspects of my game for scoring. So when I pretty much duck hooked it off the first tee, it sent my brain spiraling. Leaving myself a long iron out of this thick rough was tough, and it takes me 2 goes to even have a chance of chipping onto the green. And in the end, I walked off disappointed with a double bogey. The group of really nice chaps I was paired with told me a driver off this tee would put me in a ditch just in front of the green, but my surprisingly well struck iron was well short of all that trouble, so a driver would have probably been okay. And with a lot of distance to cover, I was really happy when I ended up on the dance floor in 2. And here's where I noticed how much faster these greens were compared to the practice one. Something to watch out for if you're looking to play here. And not understanding the pace of this green leaves me with a heartbreaking 3-putt and a bogey on the scorecard. The driver starts to behave and I'm in the middle of the fairway, and my wedge approach comes out good, ending up pin high. I couldn't have been more hesitant about the pace of this downhill putt, and you know what? It paid off, because I left myself a tap in for the first par of the day. Also, this shot here really shows you just how fast these greens are. I throw a ball up into the air to the back of the green and just watch this thing roll all the way back to me. Yeah, these greens are legit. The moment I hit this tee shot, I thought for sure we were looking at a hole-in-one, not coming up way short in a bunker like it ended up doing. I even double checked the yardage afterwards. Guess I just caught it a bit fat. This bunker shot is pretty long and I left myself a truly long effort for par. But what do you know? I found the center of the cup.
Easy day.
Feeling some momentum, I follow those two pars up by hitting a solid hybrid off the 5th tee. I got some info from my playing partners recommending that I stay left of the flag as everything feeds down to the right. But I was too far over and I got hung up in the rough to the side of the green. The chip I was left with was then downhill to the hole and I ran all the way through to the other side. Kind of disappointing rolling out with a bogey here, but that was some really hard short game. A long par 3 for the 6th and I'm pretty happy to be pin high with a decent 4-iron. Clearly that practice on the range has helped me with my striking. I honestly don't know if I could have done any better on this chip, but you know what I could have done better is roll in this short putt. There probably was some break, but I just hit it too hard. Stroke index 1 on the course and my drive is right down the middle.
Easy. Go.
I think I've pushed my second shot way to the right, but actually when I get up there, I'm pin high. With nerves from that short putt on the last hole, I just rifled this straight at the pin and luckily it dropped in. Who else is just so happy that these ball things don't exist on flags anymore? The moment I hit this tee shot, I thought the ball was destined for the left woods, but it didn't hook as much as I expected. It did leave me with a really awkward downhill lie, which I pretty much shanked into the trees on the right. A dose of medicine chipping out and karma is cashed in as my wedge approach goes just past the flag. Really, I can't be too happy with this bogey given the adventure I had getting to the cup. The 9th hole is just epic. A wide, expansive view of this huge and spreading valley welcomes your tee shot. It allows you to open up a bit, and I tried to do just that, hitting it well, just not down the middle. The approach is my vintage super fat miss, but I actually 2-putt from this country mile away from the hole to round out my front 9 6 over par. And it gives me a chance of scoring my goal. A par 5 welcomes you on the back 9, and again I'm happy with my driver strike. I'm just clearly not starting it far enough to the right, which puts me in that incredibly tough rough. 3 shots in total to get on in regulation, and I'm not actually that far from rolling in this really long birdie putt. You can see from this angle as well just how pure these greens are rolling. Alright, these tee shots are starting to come good, aren't they? This hole funnels nicely down the hill and gives you a comfortable view off the tee. I'm only just in the rough and the ball is again above my feet. These uneven lies are clearly how you are punished by not hitting the fairway here. If I was going to play this course and really focus on getting a good score, I don't think you can get away with not being in the short cut here. Definitely should have been a better score here than walking off with a bogey. Oh, classic. I've spoken too soon and my tee shot has gone way to the left. Looking at my alignment though, I'm just not getting that starting line right at all, and I don't have the confidence with how I'm gonna miss. After looking for the ball for 3 minutes, for the sake of pace of play, I dropped one down and ended up with a double. These mistakes really get to me, so if anyone out there has some tips on how to handle this mental side of golf, please comment below. I'll try it out. What happened next really sums up golf in a nutshell. My 8-iron is somehow hit too well, ending up in the thick stuff at the back of the green. The lie here is pretty hopeless and I'm so afraid of smashing it right through the green, so I end up duffing it onto the fringe. Then out of nowhere, I hit a perfect putt and sink it for a par? What is with this game?
That's the most golf thing I've ever experienced, I think.
Holes with a clear risk and reward have to be my absolute favourite, and that's exactly what the 14th is. I was unsure about how much I could actually cut across the pond, and turns out I had room to start it further over the water. One of those difficult lies in the rough again, but I needed to make a good score on this hole. So I went for it with a 5-iron, but with a poor strike I'm agonisingly short from getting on in 2. With this outcome affecting me again, I lost focus on my short game and shoved it in for a double in the end. It was at this point that the hopes of scoring my handicap were pretty much in tatters. Watching this back, I hit this tee shot well, but I was convinced that it was lost in the deep stuff on the right. I even hit a provisional, only to get up there and find that, actually, I'm in a fairway bunker. My second shot lands on the back of the green. I hit the first putt a bit too hard, and we have another 3-putt with a bogey on the scorecard. From a design standpoint, the 16th hole is my favourite on this course. If you can hug the right hand side of the fairway here and get a good drive away, you'll probably get the bonus of only having like 100 yards left into the green. But my tee shots stay consistent and I go left, leaving myself with quite a lot of meat left on the bone. The second shot doesn't pan out well, but I don't actually go in the bunker. However, the short game woes continue and I am well aboard the bogey train, leaving the station. But destiny awaits on the 17th with the best shot of the day, and do you know what? Maybe even the year. I completely flushed a 4-iron 200 yards, which ends up pretty much pin high. I make the 2-putt as difficult as possible for myself, but pop it in the hole for a well-earned par.
There you go. 2-putt, simple, Paul, simple.
Let's finish things off with the best swing of the day on the 18th, right into the setting sun. I've ended up getting unlucky with another awkward stance in the rough for my second shot. I managed to stay a bit more balanced this time, but I catch a flyer which puts me over the back of the green. After a truly splendid bump and run with the 8-iron, I roll in my final putt for a par. Now that was a lot of golf today, and by the end, I was completely exhausted. Did I overdo it? Perhaps. But in no way did I regret how I spent my time here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the course.